As promised, we can go back to our coverage. The build-up to the trial of former President Jacob Zuma and the arms manufacturer Thales, all to do with the 1990s multi-billion rand arms deal. They're expected to finally begin their trial on Monday in the High Court in Pietermaritzburg. But let's speak now to legal expert Elton Hart, who's joining us by Skype, I believe, tonight. Elton, a very good evening to you. So, as things stand here, we're sitting with a former president who just last month, we heard, had lost his legal team. Are we headed for another postponement?
I can assure you there will be another postponement, obviously, because his legal representatives withdrew. I think it was on the 18th of last month or something to that effect. And I mean, the trial was supposed to start tomorrow. Obviously, the new legal representatives, we cannot expect them to start with the trial because they need to now first acquaint themselves with if want to say the docket and the docket content. So obviously they will need some time to actually peruse the docket or the docket content and then actually take instructions from their client. So I'm sure that Tuesday will see another postponement.
And one thing that we're also going to be watching on Monday morning is the expected appearance of the former president's now former legal counsel. Mabuza attorneys expected to be called forward to explain their last-minute withdrawal from this matter. Is that a common thing?
Yes, indeed, because what happens normally, Thembekile, is like, say, for instance, before a trial date is normally set, and especially in the high courts, judges tend to sit with the legal counsel of both parties and ask them, listen, yeah, have you been placed in fees? That's a common question. Even in the magistrate's court, they will ask you, before they set the matter down for trial, have you been placed in fees? And if you say to the court, I have been placed in fees, I have financial instructions, then for you to withdraw, there must be something seriously wrong. There must be a conflict of interest or something, but you need to come and explain to the court why you're withdrawing. If you have said to court, because normally it's financial instructions where attorneys would withdraw. But in this instance, we don't know. Was there maybe a souring of the relationship between client and attorney? We don't know that. But the Mabuza attorneys will come to court and they can explain to the court as to what was the reasons for their withdrawal, but they'll have to be at court to explain, and then the court has to listen and decide if there's a good enough reason to actually now delay the trial, if one can say that. But the court cannot force them to stay on record if there's a conflict of interest or something to that effect.
And just on whether this would be viewed as another delay tactic, as the former president has often been accused of doing, what can a court do if it finds that the reason for their separation is not so serious that they should have separated?
The court can ask for the trial to proceed, and then the former president will have the unpleasant experience of actually representing himself if he doesn't have legal representatives there. The court can take that prerogative. He can obviously now go and ask for a review or ask for an appeal of the court's decision, because the court will take a decision and say, listen, yeah, this. And for me, looking from the outside, sometimes one would say that now, again, a postponement might come. Is this not? That's something that's always in the back of the mind of people, but we cannot deny him the right to actually have legal representation. But the court will also, maybe most probably, if this is going to happen now, and the court says, okay, I'm going to not suspect you of any foul play, I will grant you this indulgence. Next time around, he cannot do this shenanigans, because then the court will punish him.
And News 24 has been reporting through the course of this week that advocate Thabani Masuku, who is part of the resigned team, is now back in some capacity with the former president. He's expected, we're reading, according to News 24 at least, to bring forward a recusal application for the lead prosecutor, Advocate Billy Downer. Is that an easy thing to do, to get a prosecutor to recuse himself?
No, the thing is, like, the defense, that's now uncalled for. They cannot tell who should be the prosecutor on a specific docket. If the NPA feel that's the best man to prosecute this case, then the NPA has the prerogative. Just like the NPA cannot say, okay, we don't want Advocate Masuku on the case, then can the NPA also bring an application to say, Masuku, you cannot represent the former president? No, it cannot. So how can the defense now, even if they say Billy Downer is biased, yes, he can be biased because he's representing the state. If for what they cannot ask, recusal is for magistrates and judges. They cannot come and say, we don't want Billy Downer to, unless they say Billy Downer was somehow involved in this corrupt activities, then obviously he cannot be a prosecutor, then he should be standing in the accused. That is more or less how far I think it should go for them to say Billy Downer shouldn't be handling the case. But they cannot dictate to the NPA.
Elton